Right, morning. It's been a while since I did a video because, well, basically I screwed up. I know, who knew? However, as you can see, there's a couple of windows in now. Let's just move you around a bit. Let's move one there, in without getting the tree stumping. Couple up the side. There's still these two to do. My train of thought was, as across there to the door, there's going to be a deck. Now, what I didn't want, because they're tall windows, I didn't want the sill sticking out and catching people's shins and whatever, so you're probably ahead of me now. So I ordered stubbies, which are 95mm sills. Now, let me just turn you around a sec. This is a stubby. Yeah, get on the profile. No, I haven't stuck the end caps on anything yet. This is a stubby, and that's 95mm, which is nice because it's not going to catch anybody's shins. However, this has got to be clad, and in order to clad it, I've got to put lath on. Yeah? You see where we're going with this? That's got to have cladding on as well. Now, I mean, I could put it forward to about there. Now, I know there's extenders, okay? I didn't know there were extenders. I had it pointed out to me by our lovely mate Rich. Because when he used to work on sites, when he was a site manager, they used to have these extenders that brought the whole window out to the, obviously the window sits between my two fingers there, brings it out to there. It's like a bracket, goes on the sides apparently. Never seen one myself. Every day's a school day. So in the meantime, I'd ordered 150mm, because like I was saying earlier, we've got the lath to go on. I know it's horizontal because these are going to be vertical cladding, but from a distance you can see the lath's going on, plus the cladding, which is going to take us to fingernail about there, which is not going to be much, probably 20mm, 25mm overhang, which is going to be fine. Nobody's going to kick their ankles, etc. So what I did, first of all, a bit of a disclaimer, I'm no glazier, I'm no window fitter. These are fairly easy to do. Your hole, using a technical term, the hole, the aperture that the windows are going to go in, needs to be 5mm each side, needs to be 10mm bigger, top, bottom, sides. So what we've got, you end up putting packers in where you're going to put the screws to keep everything out. You chisel or carefully multi-tool those off at the end. They do need to be the full width of the window. It's not good putting them vertical and the window frame will rock on it, as you know, with an offset screw, etc. They just pound them in, trap the screw, make sure it's the right size. So if it's too big or too small, this frame, I mean, at the end of the day, I know there's reinforcement, but they're going to be all bendy like a letter S. Make sure everything's nice and straight. Use your bobble, get them upright, screw them in. There ain't really a fat lot to it. These, as you can see, are openers. That one is an opener, as is this one. This is also a tilt, called tilt and turn openers. We'll have a little play in a minute, I'll show you that. But it's, again, it's all fairly straightforward stuff. Get it position it where you want, start to screw it in, use your bubble, get it all nice and level, and we're all good to go. So we'll get rid of that piece of whatever. This, as I was saying, I don't know if you can see any of that because I really need a set of lights, which is coming today, which doesn't really help us at the moment, but there we go. This, let's try and get the light out of the way. Really good. Black doesn't help either, does it? they're black frames, but anyway, so that in the down position, locked. 3 o'clock position, or 9 o'clock if you're outside, tilts to the top. So it's a tilt. And you carry on, and you shut it first, and then go right the way up. That was locked, that's tilt, that's open, and they're just wonderful things. Little, this thing sort of goes to the top, you can probably see the action. As you put it, it sort of cantilevers out. Can you see the, that's your trickle vents, leave those open. Let a bit of air coming in, a bit of airflow, we'll just snap it shut. These two are not openers, these are just plain windows. I'm trying to get the right angle because I stare into the glass, you can just, it'll take the, I don't know how to get it in here. I wish those lights would hurry up and turn up. But yeah, those two front windows are going to be just plain casement windows, and no openers, no sliders, no tilters, no nothing. You get an idea how small, with the Upvc frame, you get an idea how small from the one that's not done to the one that is done, how wide a frame is. Especially when you're doing narrow windows. It's even worse on the tilt and turn ones, and you've got that because you've got the frame, plus you've got the opener, which it's quite a narrow piece of glass. I mean, I know I'm a unit, but I ain't that big. I can span that glass. Yeah, all things to think, you know, when you do the second one. So today, turning back into the darkness, it might readjust. There you go. We've got a full glass door. Get out the other light. Full glass door there. Here's all the glass. I've gone for the opal, like pearl opal. I don't know what it's called, opal pearl, whatever. But it's not a pattern. It is literally. And that looks like I've gone out of focus. But it's not. You know, move your hand away, move it up there, you move it, you know, move back an inch, so my fingers have gone. It's very effective. Now, if you can sort of tell, window being there, looking beyond that, I've got my lovely neighbour who's there. Now, works both ways. I don't want to be standing here, not as I'm going to be up to anything, but I don't want to be standing here, and she's out there with her friends, there's a little table and chairs there, having a little private moment. Don't, she's 86. Then, by the same token, I don't want her looking in here. Same reason I don't want to look out there, just a bit of common courtesy. If it was under building regs and it was a house, you wouldn't be able to put a window overlooking a neighbour, which is exactly the situation we've got here. Yeah, full view of the ridiculous tent, which I built. Yeah, actually it took me almost as long as this thing, but there's all contents of the original shed plus bits and pieces I'm using at the moment. Just keep, if it rains, just keep it dry. It's only a gazebo with sides on it. But it was one of those purchases. I thought, you know, you look at dozens and dozens of things on Amazon, etc. And you get Amazon blind, I call it. Yeah, I looked at a few and I thought, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, click off, just do it, just send. And within a few seconds later, just turning around again. A few seconds later, I decided that'll do. I'll have a look at it, look at what's coming, and realise it was 3 metres square and 2.5 metres high, which is massive. So I've got very little garden left. Wife's loving that. I'm not getting any blame at all for any of this. This was going to be an office. plus a bit of a man cave, but yeah, thanks to her attitude, it's just a man cave now. She can shove her office and stay upstairs. So I'm going to start, instead of referring it to the build, the shed, the whatever, from now on this is called the bar. It's not a garden room, it's a mixed bar. I'll think of a better name. In fact, help me out, think of some decent, classy names. So that's what I'll do. That's pretty much it. We'll have a little play, because the door is a little bit more complicated. Again, like I say, I'm no glazer, and I'll probably screw it up, and it probably won't be perfect. But it's all it is. That's what I'm doing. So I'll put the door on. That other window, that's straightforward. It's just a piece of glass in a hole. So, but yeah, I'll get this door on. Get a bit of footage done of that. This is going to be a shorter video than normal. Yes, basically we're pretty much done. Little sort of upcoming events. Just where that other window frame's lying on the floor, just to the side of it is, it's actually not just the side of it, you see this double here, and that double yonder, that's pretty much where the internal wall is going to be. So that'll be after these windows, that'll be the next job, is put that internal wall in, and then we can start playing around with the wiring. Once again, I'm no electrician. I've got basic knowledge of what I'm doing, but I will be getting a good friend of mine who is a totally qualified electrician, and he will be coming to connect the tails up to the new consumer unit and give it all a once over and commission. So we should be nice and safe. And if I don't get it right, he'll change it around. But time-wise and budget-wise, it's not overly complicated. I've got to run cables for lighting cables. Obviously, one in the little, what do you call it, storage area at the back. I'm only having wall lights in here. Being a cold roof as well, you end up with it's not insurmountable issues, but it is issues with the lighting, with the insulation, which we've covered earlier in the channel, and the loft conversion. So we end up cutting the squares out and that kind of thing. But I'm having wall lights, so it doesn't interfere with that. So we'll end up with a cable running to all the wall lights, and I'll have a switch, obviously, for the storage room. I have another switch, it's going to go dark again, but another switch over by between the window and the door, which will control the wall lights in here. It'll also have an override switch, because I'm going to put a PIR outside for sensor for when the lights come on. It's a motion sensor for so the lights outside will work. But also, sometimes you're out there and you want them on all the time. You can be flicking on and off all the while. If somebody moves, wait for somebody to move. I'll put an override switch so I can switch them on and leave them on. Override that, which I think I know how to do, but again, my electrician friend will sort that out, who's also named Rich. Not that Rich, it is actually another Richard. So that's what we'll do. Get the door in, get the wall in, start on the cables, cable running after that. And when we're all happy with that, it's all connected up, I'll just put a few false fronts on in the meantime, so we can test it before because it's me doing it. If it was Rich the Spark doing it, obviously we just first fix it, carry on, second fix it, switch it on, and it will work. However, it's not Rich, it's me. So what I'll do is I'll run it all, connect it up. We'll do a couple of false you know, like bulb holders and stuff. Make sure everything's working and switching off and on as it should. Same with the main socket ring. We'll do that and make sure that works in a kind of temporary measure, but make sure it works, and then I can start plastering, etc. So that'll all be done. I know I've waffled on quite a bit, but it's going to be a shorter video anyway, so we'll carry on and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so as you're seeing, I've just put the sill on, put a bit of mastic, and I'll run across there. Just any egress of water gets in there underneath. It doesn't come through, trickle through to the sides. Once that's in against the stop at the back, oh no, that's white. I've just got to pull the paper off that. Yeah, it'll end up the same as that one. Put a bubble. If I put my bubble, I'll use this one till I find it. Seriously, lost that. Oh, duh, it's up there. Okay. So you put your bubble against that. Once you've got that against the backstop, so we know that's nice and up. Sorry about it, into this light again, it's awkward, isn't it? And I've drawn, you see, little light there, so I'll pull that back to the line. That was the line I drew on the frame when it was bubble vertical. So we'll get that on there. It's nice against the line. I've just drilled a pilot ready. So I'll pop a screw in that. And then I'll equal distance them, because you'll see there's too much gap there and virtually none there. So I'll just squeeze that one over a little bit, still keep it on the line, and then we'll get the screws in. I'll put you down because I can't do everything with two hands. One thing I did forget to mention is these beads, which will, you see those? Which I'll I'll show you how to fit in a second. So then they come already assembled. It looks like that, and the front looks exactly like the back. Flip them out first. One, so you can get to the screws better without damaging anything, and more importantly, but seemingly more stupidly, it's so you don't put it back to front. You don't want these on the outside and have to take it off and turn it around, because anybody could then just walk up, flip out the beads, take your glass out, and they're in. It's very unsecure. Another really seemingly straightforward, but I think it'll be surprising how many people don't do it. When you come to fit an opener, open it first before you screw it, because with that shut and with no glass in, it looks exactly like that when it's shut. And I guarantee many people have drilled straight through the opener, straight into the frame. So again, without sounding condescending, I don't want to do that at all, but I do know people who have done it. And I guess if you've not done many before, it's quite an easy mistake to make. So yeah, take those out. It'll stop you putting it in the wrong way, because it'll be obvious. And also it gives you a little bit of elbow room to do the screws without damaging anything with your drill. Okay. What you also get are these little spacer clips that your glass rests on. So they simply snap in place. A couple on the bottom, a couple on the side, which will grip the glass and stop it falling out. Same thing, these just go in. Snap in. Hopefully then when we put the glass in, that'll hold them. Another thing, when you put in these, when you're flipping them out, these beads, you're better off putting like the top one up there, the bottom one down there, the left one over there. And they are obviously they're supposed to be the same. They are technically the same. There may be it's a very small amount, you know, hundredths of a mil, a couple of thousandths of an inch out. It just makes it awkward to get it back in sometimes, especially with larger windows. You want them the same. So save. It's just an easy thing. Just put the top one at the top. When you put them back, you go. Now that's gripped up to a point with those two clips that I put in first. It just sort of squeezes itself in loosely. I mean, you push the other side, it'll fly out. So what you got with these is a profile. That little, it's focusing on me rather than, isn't it? Anyway, still bead there. There's a slot there. If you try and get that in something close, and again, if this is the first time you've done it, it'll seem a little disconcerting because you've really got to tap it quite hard. Not with a lump hammer, not with a claw hammer. Get yourself the tool for the job, which is a plastic, that end is rubber, that end. I've got another one which is similar. Let's get this out. So another one, this is nylon, both ends. They're made for this. This is what they're for. So, like I was saying, I'm dazzling myself here. I'm looking straight into the light. See, that was quite a thump. That's just started to go now. follow yourself along. Hear that last click? That's it snapping home. It's always a little bit, you need more force with a shorter run. So these short ones are always the worst to get in. So you put the top one in, obviously now it's not going to fall out, so we're all safe. That one in first, I'll put the bottom one in, and then these side ones then, you can just, obviously the mitre on them, you can just force the mitre as much as you can, put that in the slot, force it up as much as you can, tap it. I'm not going to do it yet because I've got to go to the bottom one, I'm just saying. Tap this in once it's started, and then imagine I put the bottom one in, and you need to bend this out, right, and feed it in like that. Can you just knock it down a bit. So what I'm actually doing is I'm pushing it in the bottom, and then, because it won't go in, you need to bend it, feed it in, into the, and then push it up, and then start tapping it, and eventually the middle, the bow in the middle will slowly straighten up, and the middle bit then will snap in. So we'll carry on with that. I'll just put the bottom one in, and I'll show you the sides, because the bottom one's the same as the one I've just done, so I'll knock it off for that. Right, so the bottom's in now. As I was saying, you put that in. Look at that. You put that in, get it started. So you need to get that little thing in, that little tongue. Just get it started. There's a little gap. You see, there's a little gap at the bottom. I've just snapped that in. Tapped it up so it's gone home to about there. Obviously there's a gap then beyond that. So we'll just get that gap. As soon as I bend, this has got to be bent. It's hard to do with one hand, but that's got to be bent, offered into there, yeah, and pushed in flat. When I tap that home, this belly, yeah, so that'll slowly start to go in. It'll slowly start to go in, and as it forces itself in, it'll force itself down, and that gap at the bottom, that will go to, I know glazers are going to have my life over this. Like I said, I'm no glazer. This is not, I kind of is a how-to, it's how I have done it. Probably wrong, and I apologise to all the glazers out there, because you do a great job, but you're not here, I am. So this is how I'm doing it today. I'll put you back in the cradle. That's what we'll do. And let's get on with it. Hear that final click? And that gap at the bottom is now completely closed up, and it's all good. Left one, kept it on the left, like I said. Brilliant. And just notice that's come, it's already broken, and that's not me. If it was me, I'd own up. It's my own house. Don't like the customer's going to have a go at me, but yeah. I can't even see myself here, it's so bright. Not very good, as you can see my back. It's bad enough for me looking into the light with my own eyes. That's it. that's how you pop the bead on. Like I say, if you were a glazer, you'd probably pop it on a lot more poppier than that, but that's me. Something else I forgot to mention, which you'll see later on, around all the gaps. Once we've chiselled or multi-tooled all these excess off the packers, what I'll do then is get out some expanding foam in the gun, go all the way around, make sure that's nice and sealed, and that holds all the gaps. So from that then obviously we plastered on the inside, and it also we can run a bead of silicone around the outside on top of the foam. It'll be well waterproof and completely sealed. That's nice as well. I've just got the keys. The keys come screwed to the door inside where the glass is going to go. Little plastic key fob, can you read that? 2,000 quid guarantee. If anybody breaks these keys, snaps them off and gets in, breaks the lock and gets in, I guarantee you get 2,000 quid back. Mind you, if you've seen them, the keys, you could use them as paperweights. They've got to be 5 mil, they'll be 4 mil thick. These are bigger than the Tower of London, I reckon. Good times. Okay, we've got on a bit further. I haven't filmed, excuse me, I haven't filmed putting the door in all the way, because as you imagine on my own it's been a maul. Almost embarrassing. It's because it's slipped in, slipped out, and it's just really heavy. Oh, they don't look it, especially without the glass in, but they are, because they're full of metal. So you're mauling that about. You've got nothing to hold because there's no crossbar, no, you know, it's one big long pane of glass, or will be. So it's difficult to hold. I've put that in. Best way to do it when you open it, you know, before you drill the frame, is just stand it on. You see that it's just resting on there, what it was. That kind of holds it in a close enough position to vertical, and then you can get a few screws in, get your bubble on it, get it vertical, get the top one in, work your way up. Same here. Don't forget to put your packers in. We've got one more. What I've done there is almost in. So you get up that gap on, get my packer, which is probably going to be grey, no, a blue, which is a 5 mil. Yeah, that's nice and tight. Where is it? So if I put that in there, it's just about going to go in, I think. If it doesn't go in, give it a little persuasion. There you go. It's popped out the other side, so it's nice and flat. I'm sorry to shake you about a bit. I'm trying to do everything with one hand here. Screw him up. Tight enough, but not too tight. I know that's no help at all, but you know what I mean. Don't get pulling it into dimples that much and tear through the plastic. Just got to be there. They're nice and solid. So that's. I've got the bottom one in and the top one in there. I'm going to put the two intermediates in there now. Get some packers behind those. And we'll have a go at the glass. Which again, I might put you on time lapse. It's just the same as the others. Okay, this is quite a good one. I've got to get this, yeah, over that thumb screw. It doesn't fit. It doesn't just slot over. Trust me, I tried always. So, where you've got to get that barrel out. So, what you have to do is that screw immediately below the hook latch. have to undo that. And then somewhere in the back of my memory, I remember you have to get the key just in the right position for it to move over. So you basically put that horizontal and have a wiggle around, and then the barrel comes out like that. See it sliding out, and you can get it over. And when you put it back again, you've got to put it in, wiggle the key back again, and then make sure it's lined up with that hole into that key, into that words threaded hole in there. It's a bit of a fiddle, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're never going to get it off. You're not ringing people up. So in order to get the barrel out, and again, recap, undo that, and you have to put the key in and turn it right out so it's horizontal. And if it doesn't work, you just need to faff around with it a bit, just turn it around. And once it's out, the barrel will slide out like that, and then we can put it on. Right, that's the handle popped on. Like I said, you just open that screw, mess around with the key, all this, you basically line it up because there's a little plastic flappy thing that stops you pulling the barrel out. That's all it is. So when you've undone that, put that safe, turn it round to that little keyway is in line. It'll come out then. Once it comes out, thread it through there, through that keyhole, slot shaped thing, straight through, put this one back on, line it back up again, and screw it back in. Again, you'll probably end up doing it twice if you do it wrong. It's no great shakes, but obviously screw holes, you don't want them on the outside, obvious reasons, so just be aware, do it once. I've put that handle on. I may regret it. I've got to flip these beads out and get the glass in. It should be okay, it should slide in. Right, glass. Again, must go on, I am no expert at this. But if any of you have ever fitted a gate, and you know that when you strut a gate up, if the hinge is that side, your strut must go from the bottom hinge corner up to there. That's bracing the ledge. So you've got a ledge and brace. Sometimes you've got one across the middle, so you've got a ledge coming up through the centre, and then to the other side of the ledge, up to the top. It's the same principle. It stops the handle side drooping. It's basically creating a triangle from there down to there, up to that corner, so nothing can droop. Same principle with this, but you're using the glass technically, so you put a packer there, and usually up the side as well, and another one at that top corner, same thing, so all the stresses then are taken in that direction. And this being plastic, you can sort of flex it up, slide your packer in at the top, and then let it all settle again onto the packer. And that's if because once the glass is going to be heavy, it's going to droop, so your latch might not line up. So you just basically you're strutting it up like that. So you've got that, the one down the bottom, one on the top. Just lift the frame up slightly, slide a packer in the top, and you should eventually wiggle yourself in some kind of nicely fitting door. Well, let's see how much that goes into practice. Okay, glasses in, with a little bit of fettling, but it's up to you. No pressure at all. Little thumb screw to lock it. Nice. Need it wiggling about because the keys are still in and they're flicking. Well, that could have gone a lot worse. Quite pleased. Right then. I know it's not been very long, and it hasn't been very hands-on for you guys either, because I don't have any spare hands, but you get the gist. You don't need to watch me screwing screws in and stuff like that. We all know how to do that. It's all it is really. Just gotta make sure you've got all your packers through your gaps, so you're not pinching it and pulling it all out of shape. And that's the end of my window story. So all I've got to do, well, it's not the end, because I've got to obviously trim all the excess packers off and squirt some foam around it and put some sealant around the outside, and we're ready for cladding. Once the cladding's done, outside's done. Like I said earlier, the wall up the other end, we'll get that framed up, get some cable run, and here I am again giving myself more tasks that I will not complete, and then I'll be in a mood. But there you go, that's how it is. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be, this one. I doubt if it's going to be another 30 minutes, but thanks for watching. I'm sorry it hasn't been that interesting this week, but then again, if you're craving putting windows in, I suppose if you knew nothing, you know next to nothing now. So happy days. Happy days. Right, I will see you hopefully on the next one. Please subscribe, hit the like button. I've got to get more likes than Richard had, so put loads of likes in. Go on, put on your mobile phone, then go on your TV, then go on your laptop. Like it all out. Get 3 for 1. How'd you like those onions? See you later. Thanks for watching.